quick break. I just want to say thank you for all the people around the world, Jamaica, Germany, Asia, Europe, South America. Thank you for listening to Leap of Health. Thank you for the support. And remember, my book is out. You can find it on Barnes& and Nobles and Amazon. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. Thank you again for all the support. And now back to our episode. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Alex Valgood, and this is Leap of Health. And today I'm so pleased to have Christina Martin. She's an acupuncturist, herbalist, wellness coach, voice actor. I just figured that out too. I mean, she does it all, and this is just amazing. Thank you for being here today. I'm so happy I found you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for having me and inviting me on. Super exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to be talking about detoxification and diet elimination, which those are big topics nowadays. Everybody sees them everywhere. I think we're so familiar with the word detox and
Yeah.
what that is, but not a lot of us know really exactly what it does to our body, how does it work, and how to do it right, and all those stuff. But
Yes.
before we dive into all that, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be all these wellness coach now.
All these things. Well, I started acupuncture school in 1996, a long, long time ago. I actually went to acupuncture school and I never even had an acupuncture treatment in my life. It was just like, yeah, I was just like, this is for me. I can't explain it. It was like a calling and I just kind of went for it. So, and it worked out. Thank God.
Wow.
It maybe couldn't have worked out, but it worked out.
I'm glad it did.
Thank God. So I was an acupuncturist, fertility specialist for probably about 20 years. And then I took a little sabbatical and I came home to New York. So this was in California. I came home to New York. Then I started doing a little voice acting as a creative outlet, and that's been like super fun. But I'm also a coach, wellness coach. I got certified as a coach about 10 years ago. And one of my big passions is this elimination and detox program that I've been running with patients one-on-one for a very long time. And then more recently, the last 3 years, it's been virtual, which has been like even more fun because it can be anyone from anywhere. Well, the 48 contiguous states, but we've had people from, California, New York, Phoenix, Chicago, and everywhere in between the last couple of years. So that's been like, wow, amazing.
Yeah, that's just amazing now. I feel like after COVID, everybody, and a little bit maybe before COVID, everybody was just getting used to the virtual things, doing virtual calls with your doctors and things like that. So now it's just amazing that we can have these tools, available whatever we are. It doesn't matter if you're New York, California, Texas, pretty much anywhere you could just do this,
Yeah.
and it's just so wonderful and so cool to do that. So
So,
tell us what's this detox? Why should we be doing detox
yeah,
anyways?
one of my favorite topics is why do I care?
Yes,
Why should I care, right?
exactly.
So here's why you should care. So we're getting toxins from everywhere. Everywhere. I don't care where you live. Like I spend half the week in Manhattan where I'm getting a lot of toxins, obviously, from the air, from standing in the subway. But then I also spend half the week on the North Fork in Long Island where it's green, there's farms, but I'm also getting toxins, right? So the contaminants in water. We had a lot of farms around me that are doing sustainable, good practices with very low, if no pesticides. But also, those farms for 30 or 40 years used a lot of pesticides. And so we still believe that, yes, we're getting some of that. So foods that are not totally clean, non organic foods, GMOs, beauty products. There's a lot of xenoestrogens in beauty products that absorb right into your skin. There's emotional toxicity, right? So, I mean, we're bombarded all that there's stress that's causing toxicity. And here's the other thing too. I mean, we're being bombarded with toxins. There are these exogenous chemicals that are entering our systems in any number of ways, right? So what happens is our body is genius. It grabs onto them. It quarantines them in the liver or the bile or the tissues or the muscles. We all know the word quarantine by now, right?
We do. We do.
We do. So it does that, and then it just kind of sits there. I mean, the body is designed to naturally detoxify itself, but I think that we're being so overwhelmed and bombarded that the ability, the capacity to do that.
Oh, we lost you a little bit.
Stress just
Hey,
slows everything. Oh, I think I lost you for a
I
second.
lost you for a second. Go ahead.
So I was saying that the overabundance of toxins greatly diminishes the capacity to detox naturally. And then when we've got stress, that kind of tightens our body up and it doesn't allow it to purge successfully, which would be considered phase 3 detoxification. Um, and so, well, I'll stop there. I could go on. I'll stop
Yes,
there.
please keep going. No, I think it's such an important thing to kind of like understand, because some people might be like, well, I'm healthy, I eat really good, and that's that. I don't need none of this. But in reality, if you really think about it, as you mentioned, especially like the people that lives in the city, there's a lot of pollution. We're getting toxins from the air, the water, even from home. Some people don't think about it as home being a place where there's toxins, but if you're not cleaning well enough your house, sometimes mold gets created. Also, if you don't have
Oh,
a
yes.
cleaning well, the restrooms and the kitchen and things like that, where water is accessible. So I think just really think about as a whole thing, and really just be open-minded about, like, well, it's true, I get exposed to this, whether I'm at work or at home or outside, or
Place.
the
Yeah. And
mhm.
if you're driving a car, which most of us are on a freeway, expressway, or a highway, you're getting exposed. There's so much exposure. And you're right, mold is a big one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think just being aware that yes, you're healthy and you're doing, I guess, the right steps to keep on being healthy, but also being aware that there's a lot of toxins out there. Especially too, I felt you touched on a really good point, which is makeup, and that just any beauty products, like sometimes soap, dishwasher, even like the soap that we wash our clothes in it. If you're not totally conscientious of what the ingredients that they have, you might probably be wearing toxins right now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And actually, I'll tell you a great website, which does all of these tests on all of the skin products from sunscreen to makeup to moisturizer. It's called EWG. I think it's just EWG.com. They're a brilliant website that I'll go on and I check in just to see what I'm using and how it rates as far as
On
toxicity.
them.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And that's good that we have tools like that too, because a lot of people might be like, "Well, I don't know how to read the labels. I don't know what this is. Is this good? Is this bad? Is this, what is this doing?"
Yeah, 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 exactly. And I know it can be like you were saying, it's like such an elusive thing. Somebody might feel like, oh, but I'm so healthy in this. But like I tell people, if you're challenged with any kind of like if you're healthy, that's one thing, right? But are you sign and symptom free? Symptoms. Do you have any symptoms? That's a different level. So it's like what you're experiencing, we can shrug off like, oh, I get stuffy a lot, or I get food coma after I eat, or I'm just kind of tired every day at 3 p.m., or my sleep's not great because I'm stressed, or my menstrual cycles are difficult. I get headaches, pain. I mean, the list goes on and on as well. But, those are things where your body's giving you a warning signal. It's saying, we're not quite happy here. We're not quite balanced. It hasn't gone up to, oh, you have fibromyalgia or you have diabetes, where it's now I'm not healthy and now there's a label. There's a
Mhm.
name for what I have. So I'm always like, all right, if you got stuff over here, deal with it now before it gets to here. Because the warning signal just gets louder.
Mhm.
Our bodies, right? Our bodies are just trying to tell you something.
Yeah. And I think we normalize a lot of these things. And that's why we don't pay attention to many. We're
That's right.
like, no, I'm healthy. I'm eating organic. I'm doing this. I'm fine. But then we normalize that maybe,
That's right.
let's say you have your period and then you have all these symptoms, and we're like, oh, it's just normal.
It's just that's right. That's right. Oh yeah, like I get acid regurgitation every time I eat one whatever. That's just normal. Or I get menstrual cramps every month. Of course, isn't that normal? Everybody does. No.
Yeah. And the same goes with, like feeling gassy and just like all these little symptoms that yet, they're not like, they don't feel like they're hurting us. Because I feel like a lot of people naturally feels like being gassy is like the normalest thing. And I'm like, bro, no, that is not, that is,
Especially your gas. It's
uh,
not normal.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yes, we're gonna pass gas. That's kind of like a normal situation there, but
It can be.
there's differences when it
There's
comes to that.
normal gas and there's not normal gas.
Exactly. And so I think just, being a little aware of these little things that
Yes.
we think they're normal,
Yeah.
as the same as having bowel movements. You
Yeah.
know, people think that once a day it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, wow. Well, let's think this through, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think just uh yeah, what you're saying, paying attention to these little things that are telling us something, that are maybe telling us you need to drink more water because you're just going to the restroom once a day, or
Whatever
you're
it
having all these gassy moments throughout the whole day, and maybe you shouldn't have as many as you're having. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think it's good to pay attention to all these things, and that's where when you come in and tell us what kind of a detox do we need to do? Like if I'm healthy, because obviously everybody's gonna be like, well, I feel really good. What kind of a detox should I do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I lead people through is a program. We do it every single year. We've got two cycles coming up this year. One at the end of March, starts March 22nd, and one in the middle of May. And so I found this is what I found. You can get a detox on Amazon right now that'll say it's a 7-day detox or a 14-day detox. Yeah. Or you could do a juice detox for 7 days. Now, I'm not saying that the products or there's anything wrong with the products or there's anything wrong with juicing. I mean, yes, if that's where you're at, like we have to meet you where you're at, right? If that's what's calling to you, great. What I found that's most effective is doing the detox with particular supplements that's going to help your body through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 detoxification. And what that means is that most toxins, when they're in our body, kind of lying dormant, they're fat soluble. So the body doesn't really have a great way to kind of wrangle that and purge it out. Some, yes, I mean, some will go through bile and you'll get rid of it that way. But most of the time, well, not most of the time, sorry. What we need to do is take that fat soluble toxin and transform it into water soluble so that your body can purge it, whether it's through the stool, the urine, or the sweat. Sometimes even breathing also does that. Um,
Mhm.
so we use supplements that help you do that. The supplements help you keep your blood sugar stable. It helps feed your body. So like some people will get confused, like fasting and detoxing are very different. Fasting, I feel like, is where you just kind of stop the body and get really quiet. Detoxing is where you continue to eat, you continue to do things, you get some action from the supplementation to get rid of, to purge. The other thing that we do part of the program is an elimination diet.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the other thing. You get that 7 or 14-day detox on Amazon, but you don't change your eating. Well, like our bodies, if you're intolerant to something or something that you're eating is triggering a set of symptoms or signs or whatever it is, then it's going to tackle that first before it detoxes things. So it's like your body's got too much to juggle. So what I do is we take away everything. We take away caffeine, alcohol, gluten, sugar, dairy, eggs. I know this sounds bleak. It sounds terrible. But once you get rid of all of the noise in your body, not only can your body detox successfully, but also you go on an interesting journey of discovery. The journey of who am I without my coffee? Who am I without my cocktail? Who am I without the pizza or the bagels or whatever, or the chocolate? It's so we also talk a little bit about that, like, oh, when you're reaching for whatever it is, a drink, what you're craving a drink, what are you really craving for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it can be very um just such a journey, very transformative. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, really transformative at the end. So it sounds really hard, but by the end of 21 days, because it's a 21-day detox, by the end of 21 days, or even in the middle, most people feel incredible. They say, I can't believe I'm accessing this kind of energy. I don't need caffeine to wake up anymore. I'm sleeping deeper. I don't, maybe about, 60 or 70% of people have like much less pain. Like if it was a 10, it's like a 2 now, their pain level, because you're not eating stuff that's triggering your body
Mm-hmm.
with all of those signs and symptoms that we talked about. Um, and then at the end, so then you have an opportunity to bring that food back at the end. So we bring maybe nightshades back first, then wait, eat a whole bunch of nightshades, tomatoes, eggplants, potatoes, eat a whole bunch of it for 2 days and see how I feel. So you really, like you were saying, paying attention. It's such a deep, like paying attention. Then we bring back gluten, eat a whole bunch of gluten for 2 days. Okay, how do I feel? And then you get to decide, because here's my thing, there's no good food or bad food. Like how we started this nightmare about like, oh, I'm going to be good today, or no, I'm going to be bad today. And I'm talking to mostly women,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. There's no good or bad food. There's only foods that aren't doing you any favors. And so you get to figure out what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I talked a lot just now.
No, no, no. That's good because I think it does sounds kind of like, it's like too much to eliminate everything from your diet, right? Uh Perhaps just even thinking about it, people will be like, wow. So if I'm taking everything from my diet,
Yeah, it's
then
hard in the
what?
beginning. Then what? Okay. I just created a book of like 50 recipes, and it comes with the whole program. Like last night, what did we eat? We ate like, because I eat like this a lot, and then I have my pizza, and then I drink my red wine and all of that, and then I go, oh, okay, well maybe I need to go back a little bit over here, and then I go, all right, let's party a little, and then I go back over here. Last night I made like this shredded beets with avocado, with pine nuts and sesame oil with taro chips.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. I roasted zucchini. I made coconut milk rice. The other night we had a salmon chowder. Oh, so good, with like a drizzle of tahini. So there's so much that you can eat. And most people are like, oh my gosh, this is my new favorite recipe. Like they find all these recipes that they didn't even
Mm-hmm.
know
Yeah.
that they loved.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things, right? We're so
Yeah.
used to eat the same foods, but some of those foods are not doing any good to our body. They're
Not to
giving us inflammation, they're giving us all these other symptoms.
right.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. And we're kind of on autopilot about it, right? I know that I can be on autopilot, like totally. And then I have to stop because I'm so busy sometimes and I have to think, oh, okay, hang on. Hang on. But there's an alternative to everything. Like even for coffee, we've got a couple substitutions that we recommend. Huh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a lot of these things too. Like, let's just say, for example, coffee. A lot of people are attached to their coffee, but then
Yes.
once you actually stop having it, you don't even need coffee.
So caffeine is an interesting thing. Do you want to hear about it a little bit?
Yes, please.
So caffeine, the chemical compound of caffeine is very fascinating. So there's a neurotransmitter in the brain called adenosine. Doesn't matter what the name is, but adenosine is what makes you kind of sleepy. And it slips into these little receptors into the brain. But caffeine looks just like it. So caffeine comes along, you drink the caffeine, and it blocks adenosine. So caffeine slips into all these receptors, and you get this wow, not only are you getting this wow in your brain because you've moved over the adenosine, but then you're also getting a dopamine effect because we've trained ourselves to smell coffee. And then we're like, ah, yes, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Right. So we're getting that. We're getting dopamine. It's the trifecta. And then our whole body pleasure center is going. And now we're getting adrenaline too. It is like, yeah, the trifecta of trifecta.
It's a
Here's
party.
it's the party. It's the morning party. You're springing your step. You're dancing down the street on the way to work. Um, but here's the thing too. Our bodies are genius and always looking for equilibrium, always looking for a way to keep things balanced. So what does it do? It creates more receptors in the brain for adenosine because your brain's like, what's going on? Well, now you're blocking all the adenosine can't get in. You're blocking it all up. So it creates more receptors, which makes you what? Drink more coffee.
Mm.
So you're bringing yourself on this journey that you kind of don't want to go on. It's like you're a slave to coffee. I had one guy in the program last year. He was living on about 7 cups of coffee a day. He couldn't survive without coffee, and it was giving him acid, and it was messing up with his sleep because caffeine stays in the body for up to 10 hours.
Wow.
So if you're drinking coffee at noon, you could be messing with your sleep if you're trying to go to sleep before 10. So he got off. It was hard. He was not happy. It was hard. But he got off and he sent me a gift afterwards, wrote me a letter and just said literally a letter and a gift in the mail like the old times. It was so cute. He was like, I don't even need coffee. Like I was chasing to get the energy. But meanwhile, I just had to press reset. And now I have my own energy and I'm sleeping better and I don't have acid anymore.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's all these things that they serve us, but are they doing a good service to everybody or a bad one, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so much of like just even the world, like Europeans, Americans, as far as coffee and alcohol, it's like woven in the patchwork of being a human.
Hmm.
Media, you know, it's if you talk to any marketing people, right? It's not that they're marketing caffeine, a dark brown liquid. They're marketing that effervescent feel you get, that hanging out.
Experience.
They're marketing the experience or alcohol. They're marketing what do you see in all the alcohol commercials and in movies most of the time, right?
Yeah.
It's friends, community, romance is red wine, right? I fall for it. I fall for it every time. I'll be
Yes, for sure.
walking in Manhattan. I'll be walking in the city and I pass by a really cute, like perfect ambiance, right? Velvet walls. And I'm like, oh, I want to go in there and have wine. Oh, well, I like that. I'm like, wow, I buy
Yeah,
it. I buy it too.
yeah. And once you do, I know you talk about phase one, two, and three. So the
Yeah.
first one, you support the body to get some of those toxins that are fat soluble. And what do you do in phase two and three? How do you walk the people through that?
Yeah, phase one and phase two. So that is not so much in the like what we do per the program, but the phase one and two are really like the biology and the chemistry of what's happening. So phase one and two is the act of converting a fat soluble toxin into the water soluble. And actually through the conversion, you create free radicals. We didn't even talk about free radicals, but this is
Mhm.
like another reason why you should care is that an overload of toxins in the body can create an increase in free radicals. Free radicals, not to get too scientific, I hope I'm not boring you, but
No, no, please do.
free radicals, you've heard of free radicals before?
Yes.
Yes. So free radicals are a cell that's incomplete. And basically, if you go back to like your high school, like chemistry, it means that cell is missing an electron. So what that means is it's like going around trying to find it's incomplete. It's trying to find another electron. So it meets up with another cell and it steals that electron. So now that cell is incomplete. And it does this multiple times, basically rendering those cells incomplete and, I don't know, for the lack of better words, toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like the zombie apocalypse, like the whole thing. Now, all the cells, it's like not the state that you want because inside the cell, then oxidation occurs. And what oxidation is like if you ever cut into an apple or
Mm-hmm.
an avocado and it gets brown,
Yeah.
that's what's happening in your cell when the free radical has hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Then your immune system's trying to save everybody and now it's just kind of like madness. So free radicals basically in a short way is just they are the gateway to disease.
Mm-hmm.
It's believed that free radicals can be a cause of cancer. Things, I mean, not just cancer, but anything. So if
Right.
you've got a lot of toxic overload, then you've got an increase of free radicals that's causing a lot of gateway to disease. So I got a little off tangent. I'm going back. Thank you. So, so phase one and two is this whole thing. During that, you actually create more free radicals. So we make sure to give you a lot of antioxidants for supplementation because antioxidants are the key to killing off free radicals.
Mm-hmm.
And then phase three is actually just the biological act of the purging through the bowels, through urine, or through the sweat, those toxic chemicals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's good to just really think about what it's some of the process during detox because I think it goes back to what you were saying. I think a lot of us have gone to Amazon and just feel like, okay, let me try this 7 day juicing detox.
Yeah.
And while it might be okay at the moment, it's not doing a lot of the what you just said. Pretty.
A juicing detox is not doing what I just said. Absolutely. But, like I also know to meet people where they're at. Like if that's great, like that they're actually even thinking about that. But
Trying, yeah.
this is a better way. Yeah. This is a more complete practitioner led with support way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so when is it that you do the elimination diet? Do you take it completely or do you just uh because it takes 21 days for to do
Yeah.
the program. So do you go 1 day at a time taking things out or is it just cold turkey bye-bye to my bagel every morning?
It's cold turkey. It is cold turkey. So we just start on day one, which is why I think the whole process is 21 days. I feel like that's like the magic number. I used to do 21 days with patients, then I started doing 14 days, and I felt like it wasn't enough. So the first 5 days, you're kind of getting used to this new way of eating. But then with that in mind, we also do 9 days of prep. And I tell people, if there's anyone that's really like struggling with caffeine or really struggling with
Sugar.
gluten or whatever, start
Mhm.
there, or sugar. Like start there, like right then. Just take that one out right away. And then as we start on day one for the 21 days, then at least you have a little bit of that out of the way. And then you can go ahead and do the rest. But um I mean, the foods that are available, like you don't even have to love cooking. Do you like to cook? Are
I
you,
love cooking.
you
I
love to,
am. I'm a
I love
big cook.
to cook.
I
Yeah.
just love to eat, love to cook, and love to share. So yes.
Me too. Me too. I love cooking. Some people don't, and you can still do it. Like there's shortcuts, like go get a rotisserie chicken and then have a salad and make your own salad dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Or there are even like the taro chips or the sweet potato chips are good. You can make like an apple slaw or something like that to kind of have as, or hummus is illegal. My husband always like when we do this, he's like, is this legal or is it not legal? I'm like, it's legal. Hummus is legal. So there's
Yeah.
there's a lot to eat. Rice, we did a lot of stir fries, things like that. So trust me, you do not go hungry. And I just want to say one other thing about it is that some people get a little confused that it's like a weight loss program. Um, it is not. It is not. However, that being said, some people lose weight, some people gain weight. Some years I've gained weight.
Mm-hmm.
This past year we just got done with one trying out the new products for spring, and my husband lost 14 pounds. I was
Mm.
like, oh my God,
Lucky,
of
huh?
course. Like men do. He's like, oh wow, I lost 14 pounds. Um, so yeah, it's not a weight loss program, but once you get to the end and you feel, how do I say it? It's just like so quiet where food is fuel now and
Mm-hmm.
you're not more mindful, then I feel like that's where you begin, where you can go anywhere with it. If that
Mm-hmm.
is what you're up to. Like you're in the best possible place because at the end, no one has any cravings for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I know that doesn't seem possible, but it really is possible. You don't have a craving for anything because you've eliminated all the potentially addictive foods.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, I think I'll have, salad, or I think I'll have rice with veggies tonight. It's like not even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the best place to start if you're thinking about weight loss.
Yeah. And I think that's great that you mentioned that because I feel like we have this misconception of like, okay, we're going to do a detox and people are already thinking like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds right now in 3 days and all these things, right? And,
Right.
uh, and I feel like that's just really not at all from what we're talking about it here. And it doesn't have to be your program, but just any program in general that walks you through anything.
Yeah.
uh we're talking about getting your cells healthier. You were talking about getting rid of a lot of junk that your body probably was storing from what we were just talking about, which is like the pollution, the water, the mold, anything that could be at home, anything that you've been absorbing for a long time. So I think keeping in mind what is it that this is going to do, and not just like I'm doing this to lose weight. I
Yeah.
mean, in some cases, as you said, some people will lose weight with it.
Sure, you can. But it's about getting healthy,
Yeah.
because if you can diminish all of those signs and symptoms we were talking about, then your body is happy, cooperating, and it can shed pounds a lot easier when you don't have so much noise or distraction in it.
Hmm. Yeah, but really, I think it's just so important to keep that in mind. Like, if you're just going to lose weight, then we have to kind of like reframe the mindset when you
Yeah.
do any of these programs for such a long time.
Yes.
We're talking about detox to really get yourself healthier. Obviously, by doing so, some people will lose some sort of weight.
Sure.
And then, so my next question will be, so I already did the 21 days. I went through this detox. I haven't ate my favorite food in 21 days or
Yeah.
probably 30 days by now.
Yeah.
What now? What's my next step? How do I go by life now? Because I've been doing in this little box, kind of like, what you were saying, is this legal or not? As I'm doing this program. So
Oh,
now I'm done with it. Am
yeah.
I
Yeah.
free
What do
to
you do?
just, yeah, what do I do?
That's so funny. Now I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't call things legal or illegal. It's like
No,
almost
but I think
it's
I
our
will
bad.
call that too. It's funny, but it's true. Would I be like, should I be taking this or not?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I haven't had it in such a long time that
Yeah.
how how do I integrate myself back into the real world? Because
Regular.
obviously we know we're not gonna be in these detox program for the rest
Yeah.
of our lives. And how is our body going to react to it?
Yeah, valid. So that's the reintroduction phase that I was kind of mentioning, but I know I went really fast. So after the 21 days, there's sort of like maybe the least insult to injury to the most. So we'll invite back
That's
like
right.
nightshades and then like maybe corn, then maybe like eggs or something like that every 2 days. But then after that, yeah, what do you do? So you may or may not have found that one of those foods really didn't make you feel good. Maybe it made you gassy.
Mm,
Maybe it gives you food coma. Maybe like people report, and actually, I can report this for myself. This last year, I've had a lot of back pain, and I had done acupuncture. I've done chiropractic. I've done stretching. I roll my back out every day. And it's just this one little spot on the back on the right. And it wasn't until I did the detox just in January that
mm,
it's gone like 70%. So then I invited some food back and I thought, okay, right now, like I think it was dairy that was inflaming me there. So I guess in a nutshell, we invite all the foods back. You get to decide, oh, this one didn't make me feel very good. I noticed X, Y, and Z. Or this one, no problem at all. I'm good with corn. And then again, you get to decide how, like, so I think the program puts you in a place of choice, right? There's no good food, there's no bad food. But here I
mm,
am post program, and I've decided, okay, I think I'm just gonna like let go of dairy for a while and just see
mhm.
how I do.
Yeah.
Or I'm back, baby. Let's go to, my favorite restaurant and eat it all. Or maybe you're a choice and you're like, all right, I know that this pizza is going to inflame me a little bit tomorrow, but I'm going to have it anyway. And that's
Okay.
okay. And
Yes.
that's okay. So it's really like walking away from the program at choice and just being in a place of power
Mhm.
instead of like a place of reaction or almost like a slave to your caffeine. Like these foods are just sometimes running our lives, where now I get to decide, oh, like I haven't had caffeine since we ended the program, our focus group in January. And I don't know, caffeine's just not really so interesting anymore to me,
Mhm. Now
you
you
know?
could
So,
save those $10 every day and get yourself some vacation in summer. People don't understand. I mean, and I speak for myself, right? I'm not a coffee drinker, but it amazed me,
yeah.
uh, how like some people really has to have it like every day, and they spend good, $7, $8 on
Yeah,
it.
especially now. It's probably,
Yeah.
God knows, right?
Imagine the
Totally.
possibilities if you could just not have it and do some good for your body, run on your own energy without having it. Obviously, as you mentioned, I think moderation and what you want.
Yeah.
Because if you want to have it today with some coffee, whatever it is, however you want it, by all means, just really
Oh,
enjoy it and drink it all and
Yeah.
every single sip and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just very important to have to gain that power back, as you mentioned it.
That's right. That's it. To be informed, to know what your body likes, um, and yeah, make a choice. So that's really, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
everything, right? If we could just see that we're a choice in a place of power. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think these programs are great to do that because otherwise, we will not know if if gluten or dairy or whatever it is. At some point, personally, I was eating avocado and banana
Hmm.
all day, every day,
Hmm.
and then that caused me some pain in the body.
Mm.
And so until I loved avocado and banana, but
Hmm.
now it's been like about so long now. I think like 7 years,
Oh,
maybe
really?
something like that since I stopped. And that's what was causing me the body pain. But
Really?
I would have never know if I didn't do elimination diet, which is
Yeah.
in some
Yeah.
cases very important, especially
Yeah.
if you're having some sort of like symptoms or pains and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Uh, it's a great way to really almost like getting to know your body better
Yeah.
and know what's causing what's really helping you and making you feel super good
Yeah.
and knowing that definitely beggars uh, might be hurtful at times.
It might be a little uncomfortable in the beginning. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. But I think it's just great. I think I know myself, I've done these process a few times in my lifetime, and I think
Yeah.
they've been very great. So I feel like for anybody that has never tried, to go through this legit detox program, not just the one that you buy on Amazon, because as we said, there's such a process to it
Yeah.
because we need certain, as you mentioned, some supplements, some things to support the body to really detox and take out all these toxins and help the body through the whole process. So if you haven't tried it, I think it is a really good way
Yeah.
to help your body into optimal health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you say to all those that have never tried it?
That have never tried it. I mean, if it's speaking to you, if it seems like it's resonating for you, if you're feeling this pull of curiosity, you can certainly talk to me one on one. I think that you'll probably post our page. If you go down to the bottom, you can make a little virtual consult with me, and we can talk about why it's resonating with you, what you're interested in, and maybe it's not a good fit, or maybe it is, so we can
Hmm.
explore that together.
Yeah, for sure. And as we mentioned before too, you could do this from anywhere.
You can do this from anywhere. Well, not Alaska or Hawaii. Unfortunately, I don't have shipping there, but yes, anywhere in the 48 contiguous states. So yeah, last year, like I said, we've got everyone from California to Phoenix to Chicago, Florida. We had some Texas people, New York, New Jersey. So yeah, and we have a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yay. And one more question. Can anyone do this? Or is there someone that might have like some sort of a disease or condition that you're like, maybe not for you right now, but later or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for reminding me. I do say on the website, if you're breastfeeding, if you're pregnant, if you're under the age of 21, if you're on a lot of medications, but I have to see what prescription medications that is. I had a friend the other day say, "Oh, I should tell my New Yorker friend. She's a little older. She's like, oh, I should tell my friend Gertrude about you. She's terrible. She's in the hospital and everything." And I'm like, no, 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 that's not the right candidate for me. Someone who's in the hospital. No, no, no. So yeah, I mean that you're in good basic health, but you would just like to get better. Not good health, but you want great health. But it's a case by case basis. So
Mhm.
certainly reach out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think reaching out to you and then for people to let you know what medicine they're taking if they have some sort of condition, and then you will let them know
Yeah.
exactly how
Yeah.
you
Because
can
that's
work
the
with
other
them.
thing. Like if you get something like that on Amazon, no one's working with you. And if you're on
Mm,
blood pressure medication, it might not be a fit for some of those products for you. So that's what that's what I also offer is a little bit of customization.
yeah, that's great. I mean, for everybody listening and want to like really try, give it a little kickstart for your body, know where you are, you know, get all those toxins out. As we mentioned, we all have a lot of toxins, and it's so important to do this. Definitely give it a try. Uh, how often you should be doing a detox?
I think 1 to 2 times a year.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah. Not too bad. Anyone can do anything for 21 days, right? If you know there's an end to it, you can do it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
She's
That's for
like,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's not too bad because you're right. Some people might feel like this is just too much. I can't do it, or something like that. And also remember this detox, and a lot of them too, is not like you're fasting. You're not gonna stop eating. You
No.
actually are just going to eat different, maybe in a way that you haven't in a while or never, but you're gonna still eat. So I think that's super important to highlight because as you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, people think that you're gonna detox and you're just gonna stop the
No,
world.
no, yeah. Because then the body, I think when you stop and you fast, the body kind of goes into starvation mode. So it kind of holds on to things a little bit more, just energetically. That's my feel for it. So yeah, we eat. We eat a lot. We eat a lot.
And that's just amazing because we all love food. But no, I think it's just great. I thank you so much for being here today and explain us a little bit of what happens with us when we detox and how to do it. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
You can email me at Christina at berkeley-acupuncture.com. That's a little bit of a mouthful. Same website, but I'm sure you'll post it in the show notes. And so, yeah, or you can also, if you go to that detox page, go to the bottom and you'll find the calendar for, how do you say it? Calendly? Calendly.
Calendly?
Calendly.
Calendly? I don't know, but we all
I
know
don't
what that
know
is. Just
either. That
schedule
one.
things there.
That one.
Awesome, awesome. And yes, I will put all the your information in the show notes for anybody that wants to reach out. If you guys have any questions or on any of the service that you do, definitely reach out to to Christina. And if you need to know any more about me, please look me up at alexbalga.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. Remember to grab a copy of my book. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here.
God,
And
thank
please do
you.
have an amazing and blessed day today.